You're listening to Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall on CJAD 800.
That is James Mennie. He is over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, the story we were going to do a day ago or 2 days ago, we had to wait on, but now you can actually do it. The Liberals apparently have weighed in on Bill 40, huh?
About time.
Yes, they have. They've sent a sternly worded
Oh.
note to the Minister of Justice and to the Education Minister with a copy, by God, to Eric Girard, the Finance Minister, who, as a side hustle, is responsible for the English relations with the English language community in Quebec. Listen, we were joking about this like 2 days ago. And here's the question. Is it possible the Conservative leader, Eric James, got wind of this letter and decided to beat the Liberals to the punch? Or is it possible as well, and that's the image that came into my mind, that once a week someone goes in to check the Liberal Party post office box, found some newspaper clippings saying, oh my goodness, Bill 40's been shot down, we better do something about this, and finally got around to calling upon the Legault government not to launch an appeal of it. Either way, they a dollar short, a day late, a couple of days late. But this is the thing. They really got to get themselves together. I know it's August. But guess what? As we have all discovered, the days of the summer lull, the summer news slump are obviously gone.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you guys have to be on your toes because you're not doing yourself any favors. No matter what happened, no matter what the backstory is, you followed Eric James on this. Okay? I don't care what the backstory is. Here's the facts. And it just looks like you went, oh my gosh, you face palmed yourselves. And here's the guy who, pulled pulled a lot of votes, but didn't get any seats, sort of beating you to the punch on this. Not a good look for the Liberals. But all that said, it's all moot as far as I'm concerned, because I know, and I will maintain that the Legault government will appeal this till the end of time.
And you think we'll find that story, or at least that part of this, out from the government Friday afternoon around about 5 o'clock?
You know what? I don't think they're going to try and lowball this. I think listen, they've got a lot tied up in this. This is one of their first campaign promises as the Coalition Avenir Quebec. This was based on, as memory serves, on nothing more than the millions of dollars that Quebecers were spending on school board elections. It's a terrible waste of money. Nobody shows up. So let's just hold education. Let's place education, take it from the communities and put it in the hands of government bureaucrats who answer to the Minister of Education, who in turn answers to the Premier. So, that was pretty much it.
This is totally and completely unacceptable to me that the Liberal Party wasn't on this immediately. It makes no sense whatsoever.
It's par for the course, though, the way things have been going.
Yeah,
though, right?
Well, I think they're using carrier pigeons to send messages back and forth.
I want to ask a question with respect to this and then let it go. Did we hear? So we heard first from Eric Duham, which was a surprise, but a pleasant surprise, if you will. Now the Liberals. Have either of the opposition parties even weighed in on this? Solid Air said anything? PQ said anything?
Solid Air, to my knowledge, has said nothing about this, and the PQ, of course,
naturally.
anything that comes close to eliminating English language, anything they're in favor of. So
interesting. Nothing from Quebec Solid Air. Okay, let's move on.
Let's talk about the attempts to launch a public inquiry into foreign interference. Already a mess.
How's
Didn't
that
see
going?
that coming.
Hey, listen,
Jeez.
We were talking about this when David Johnston, yes, that David Johnston, had his reputation sacrificed on the altar of the Superior Court of Innuendo, and the guy's reputation was ruined, and he got fed up. He says, the hell with this. And amazingly, and this is a story in the National Post, they're learning from within the Liberal Party that they've interviewed at least half a dozen current or former judges to see if they're interested in heading an eventual inquiry into foreign interference. And guess what? None of them are interested in dealing with the bar pool. And can you blame them? This is nothing more than low-end, in-the-ditch partisan hackery. It doesn't matter who steps up for this job. They know they're going to be shot at, if not directly by the Conservatives, certainly by a lot of conservative, a lot of Poilievre friends in the media who will turn around and basically say this is a sham, a travesty of a sham. Who needs it? And the Liberals knew this perfectly well, and that's why the Trudeau government turned around after Mr. Johnston disappeared under the waves. The Liberal government turned around, yeah, you want a public inquiry? You guys sort it out, knowing full well that no one's going to agree on anything whatsoever. So essentially, this is in filière treize, as we say in these parts. You're not going to see a public inquiry, at least not between now and an election. And there's not much else they can do because Pierre Poilievre has basically decided he's the king of Canada, and he's not going to broach any kind of, I get the impression not only does he not play well with others, he doesn't work well with others. I don't really see him and, say, Yves-François Blanchet of the Bloc Québécois sitting down and agreeing on a mandate or a leader for this. And I think Trudeau knew that perfectly well, which is why they threw the ball to the opposition. You guys go rag with it, and if you want to get your headlines, get whatever. But in the meantime, we'll see how soon your public inquiry is going to appear.
I have the feeling as you describe this that there will not ever, certainly not in the next months or maybe even a year. It's kind of fallen out of, the public limelight, if you will, to some degree, right? We're not even talking about this anymore. I mean, today, because it looks like none of these judges want to do anything, it'll get forgotten before anything actually gets done, won't it?
The last Abacus poll that I saw had, Canadians' priorities. 73% said the economy, and 3% said foreign interference.
There you go.
Tells you everything. But I got to tell you, I like the low end in the ditch. What'd you call it? Low end in the ditch partisan hackery.
Yeah.
That is just.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
One last thing very quickly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Robbie Robertson today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've read half a dozen obits, Canadian and American. There's no mention of a song called Acadian Driftwood. I would just urge our listeners, if you already know what I'm talking about, go listen to it again. If you've never heard it, you can listen to it on YouTube, and you'll understand why this guy was a legend. But a lot of people think this was his best work ever.
Acadian Driftwood.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll see if we can actually dig it up. And yeah, for
it's not
people
even ringing a bell with you?
No, I mean I know the big songs, the band songs, but I'm not familiar with that song.
Well, this is a band song as well, and it was considered his masterpiece when it came out. Just
really?
To verify, I think it's like 5.5 minutes long. So
I think he's a huge
Brian,
loss.
start your engines.
Yeah. We'll find it. We'll dig it up.
Yeah, we'll dig it up for
what
sure.
A loss.
And by the way, for people who are just
icon.
tuning in now and don't know or didn't hear, Robbie Robertson, we learned this afternoon, passing away at the age of 80. Been battling an illness, we found out as well for a while. I didn't have any idea that either.
And thankfully passed away with his loved ones all around him, surrounded by love.
Big band fan, Jim?
Absolutely. The thing, what surprised, I had no idea. I knew he worked with Scorsese. I had no idea that he was an almost constant collaborator. That to me is quite remarkable. Yeah, what a remarkable man.
Did the scores for so many of his movies. Jim, I want to ask one last thing because I love the headline, the way you wrote it. I know we carried the story this morning. Québécois letting the government know, look, we're not cool with paying $8,000 a month to rent a space in a building we should be getting for free. So you wrote, Québécois becoming the National Assembly's first squatter. I love that.
I like that. Well, the thing is, listen, they raised an interesting point, though. They're pleading poor, as are all news organizations. The money's not exactly rolling in, and $8,000 a month to me seems a bit excessive. But they also make the point: why are we paying? Why are we or any of our colleagues paying at all? This is access to democracy. Of all the things the provincial government underwrites, you think at least being able to cover politics in the provincial legislature should not be costing us money. And I know of some cases where there are some newsrooms that shut down their presence there because of the cost. So I think they're onto something.
I think you are absolutely right. And I think with what's going on exactly in this moment in time,
well, they're basically a PR machine for the government. Why would they be paying rent? I mean, I get their point.
Well, they also criticize, but still, the information has to
Well,
be
whether they do or they don't, what they're saying is nobody should be paying rent to work out of the National Assembly, which, quite frankly, I agree with that.
I do too.
See what happens, if anything. Jim, thank you. Appreciate it.
Adam,